Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. And not a heck of a lot going on with the Seahawks in terms of news and updates because we're not even going to really have a practice today, so we're probably not going to learn a whole lot. Some of the injured players are going to be reevaluated tomorrow, so we'll learn something then. And obviously, we'll have a practice, so we'll learn stuff for them too, from that too. But not a heck of a lot going on in terms of news. So today, I want to ask a simple question and then kind of evaluate what the answer might be. How will the 2023 Seattle Seahawks do in terms of major NFL awards and accolades? So, when I'm talking about that, I mean who on this team at the end of the season do you think has a really good chance of being honored in some way by the Associated Press as being one of the best X or the best X? So I have on screen here a list of the major NFL awards handed out mostly by the AP. There are a few that aren't, but it does a pretty good job of encapsulating the awards that matter. And then you also have the All Pro team, the Pro Bowl team, and the All Rookie team, I guess. So let's talk through this real quick. Let's go down this list and talk about each one as it relates to the Seahawks. Top one is NFL Most Valuable Player. I do think if Geno Smith has the year I think he will have, he will get some votes because I think he'll be better than last year, and last year he got a vote. But can he win? I don't think so. I think he will probably get some fifth place or fourth place votes because I do think he'll have a very good season. But I don't think it's going to be better than the season that Joe Burrow or Pat Mahomes or possibly Josh Allen have. And that's just quarterbacks. Of course, quarterbacks have a massive advantage at winning MVP awards anyway. But yeah, I'm not really seeing that. No one else on this team could win MVP. You're not going to see Ken Walker or Metcalf win an MVP. You're not going to see Nwosu win an MVP. None of that's happening. So Geno's the guy who I think can get up there a little bit, but I don't think he's going to really have a chance to win it. Coach of the Year, the other big award. Usually, Coach of the Year will go to a coach who is coaching the best team in the league by a wide margin, like a dominant team, or he's the coach of a team that everyone thought was going to suck but ends up being good. The Seahawks in 2023, I don't think fall under either of those categories. So unless they go like 13-4, it's not happening there either. AP Assistant Coach of the Year award. I think Waldron has a chance because our offense should be really good this year. I think it should be right around fourth or fifth in the league in scoring, and it should be the driving force behind this team winning games. If that happens, Waldron has a chance. But we'd have to be a good team on top of that. You look at the history of the Assistant Coach of the Year award, it's almost always a good team, often a great team, that wins the Assistant Coach of the Year award. So Waldron's got a chance, but it's there's some good competition up there for sure. So maybe. I don't think it's likely, but it's on the table. AP NFL Offensive Player of the Year award. This one's weird, right? Because sometimes they just give it to the guy who wins MVP and sometimes they don't. Either way, again, the only guy who has a chance would be Geno, and I could see him being on the ballot, but I don't think he would win it. Again, there are just some quarterbacks out there that are better than him and are probably going to have better years than him, as much as I think Geno's going to have a really good year. So he'll be on the list, I think, Geno, but I don't think he's going to win it. AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year award. Well, first of all, in order to win Defensive Player of the Year, you have to be on a really good defense most of the time, like an elite defense, and I don't think this defense is going to be that. So that's tough. So to even have a chance, I guess you look at a guy like Tariq Woolen, or now Reek Woolen, excuse me. Reek Woolen. If he gets 9 or 10 interceptions, maybe they give it to him. Maybe he can't be denied at that point. But there are some real sack artists out there. Parsons, Bosa, and those guys are going to be playing on defenses that are probably going to be elite all the way through. So, hard for me to believe that anybody on this defense could stand up to that. Even if Woolen got 9 or 10 interceptions, he might have an uphill battle. But that's the one guy who I think could do it. It's not going to be Bobby. It's not going to be Nwosu. Can't see that. It's not going to be Adams or Diggs. So, Probably. It's a long, long shot. Pepsi NFL Rookie of the Year award. And I know the fact that they put the word Pepsi at the front of that award makes it seem like a joke award, but it's actually just NFL Rookie of the Year. It's meaningful. So, when I ask who I think is going to be our best rookie, most people out there are going to immediately say JSN because he's looked so good so far in the preseason, training camp, OTAs, etc., etc. The problem is, unlike last year, we're going to have a lot of competition from quarterbacks. And you have a big leg up on winning Rookie of the Year if you are a quarterback. So that's going to be tough to overcome because this year we're going to have 4 rookie quarterbacks playing. Maybe 3, but definitely maybe 3, but 4 guys have a real chance. We know Stroud, we know Young, we know Richardson are going to start at the start of the year. Levis, we don't know yet. That's tough to overcome. If any of those quarterbacks have a good, respectable rookie season where they look at least competent, they probably win it just because. We've seen that time and time again. The quarterbacks that look competent as rookies win Rookie of the Year, unless there's another quarterback that looks even more competent. Last year, Brock Purdy actually got Rookie of the Year votes, even though he played less than half the season. That's how favorable this is for quarterbacks. So, JSN will probably be on the list if he produces the way I expect him to produce, but this is not the year for a non-QB to win it, I don't think. AP NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year award, kind of the same thing, right? Like, that's just going to go to a quarterback all day. And if it doesn't go to a quarterback, if all the quarterbacks are bad or they all get hurt or whatever, JSN could be up there. Yeah, JSN's got a real chance. If he gets up close to 1,000 yards, I don't think there are going to be any other rookie receivers that are there, but then you've got Bijan. Bijan's probably going to have a big season in an offense that should get him the ball a good amount and should be well catered to his skill set. So probably a long shot. I think he'll be on the list, but I think the fact that he's not a quarterback kind of disqualifies him off the bat. He might be the best rookie receiver though. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Isn't it just going to be Will Anderson? How can it not be Will Anderson? Like, he's going to put up the flashiest stats. The only thing that could keep it from being Will Anderson is if the Texans' defense is really bad. Then maybe Jalen Carter could do it if the Eagles' defense is really good, but on that defense, he's not going to really be putting up a lot of numbers, so he might not get that attention. So, if Witherspoon gets out there, I think he's going to be good, but I don't think defensive backs win Defensive Rookie of the Year all that often because it's harder for them to put up numbers. A guy like Will Anderson's going to put up numbers because he's going to be out there a lot and he's going to get sack numbers that's going to get people's attention. So I kind of feel like Will Anderson makes this really, really hard. And even if not for Will Anderson, there are going to be other guys too. Christian Gonzalez might play more than Witherspoon this year just because the Patriots didn't have as much going on at cornerback before drafting their guy as we did. So unlikely there, very unlikely. Comeback Player of the Year. The guy we have who could do that would be Jamal Adams. If Jamal Adams has a really good year, he's got a great shot. But here's the problem. He doesn't actually have a good shot because Comeback Player of the Year has already basically been handed out, I believe. I think it's pretty much a done deal. We all know who's going to get it. I don't even need to say his name. You guys know exactly who I'm talking about. But yeah, there's one guy who's going to win Comeback Player of the Year award. We all know who it is. I'm not even going to say his name because you guys know. Now, most of the rest of these awards are kind of irrelevant. Never Say Never Moment of the Year. Who knows? Fantasy Player of the Year award. Who cares? Man of the Year award. Who knows? That's stuff that I don't really know about. There's no way I could know about it. Art Rooney award. Who knows? Aaron Ground NFL Players of the Year from FedEx. That's just kind of an extension of the Offensive Player of the Year. Like Air Player of the Year is probably going to be Mahomes or Allen or Burrow. Ground Player of the Year, I guess K9 has a chance, but I don't think so, not in this backfield. High School Coach of the Year award, who knows? Performance Play of the Year, I don't know. I don't know what some of these are. Deacon Jones award is, I think, just the guy who has the most sacks in the league. I don't think that's going to be anybody on the Seahawks. Tough for me to buy that. Again, you got Bosa, you got Parsons. Tough to get past that. The one award that I care about that is not here would be General Manager of the Year. Schneider could. I don't think it's going to be Howie Roseman again because I'm pretty sure he won it last year. How tough to win it twice in a row. But maybe, right? And then there are going to be other really good GMs out there. But if our rookie class looks really good and our sophomore class from the previous year looks really good, maybe they give John Schneider a little bit of credit there. But that's not listed here. That's kind of become a lesser an award of less credibility, I think. People don't think about it as much. Okay, so that's it for the major awards. And as you can see, there isn't really a heck of a lot that can happen here. I honestly think that our best bet would actually be Shane Waldron to win Assistant Coach of the Year when you really take a look at how this all breaks out. I have a hard time believing anything else can happen. For the Seahawks, that is. That being said, you have the All-Pro team. So, All-Pro first team, which is basically made up of the best players in the league at each position. And obviously, some positions will have 2 players. Guys who have a chance. Geno Smith, I don't think he's going to be top 2. Maybe he's top 4. I don't think he's top 2. K9, I just don't see it because the backfield's too crowded. DK, we've got 3 really good receivers. Ball's going to get spread around too much. Anybody on the offensive line? No. Nwosu? No. Draymond Jones? No. Tariq Woolen? That's a guy who has a shot at first team. He's got a shot. But you've got to beat out, at the very least, Pat Surtain or Sauce Gardner. That's going to be really hard to do because those guys have a big rep. Diggs? Nah, not first team. Adams? Maybe if he plays every game, but that's a long shot. So, to me, I think the guy is probably, other than Woolen, I would also say Michael Dixon. I think those are the 2 guys who have a real good chance of being All-Pro first team. Second team, if you start talking about the second team, Geno, I still say probably not. Again, I think he could be a top 4 quarterback, but getting into the top 2 is hard. Running back, no. Maybe Metcalf, but again, we're going to spread the ball around so much this year. I really do believe that. So, not Metcalf. Offensive line. I think our best offensive lineman is probably Damian Lewis. Is he one of the 4 best guards in the league? I don't think so. Draymond Jones, maybe if he plays the run better. I could see that. Bobby Wagner, he's got the rep. Last year he made, I think, All-Pro second team. So if our defense improves even modestly, and Wagner has another big season with a lot of tackles and some other stats, okay. I think Wagner could make All-Pro second team. He's got to get past Warner and Parsons for first team, so I don't think he's going to do that. But he could definitely make second team. Woolen, I think the best bet would be for Woolen to make the second team. When you think about how much of a positive rep Sauce Gardner and Pat Surtain have, that's going to be really hard to get past. Even if they don't play as well as Woolen, you know those guys have the rep of being the best guys. So for Woolen, I say second team All-Pro. Diggs, I'm going to say get second team All-Pro as well. He's going to be a top 4 safety this year. He's going to get a lot of picks. And they snubbed him a little bit in previous years, so I think this year he gets it. And maybe Myers. If Jason Myers has the year I expect him to have, I think he's going to get there too. So that would be my All-Pro team of Seahawks. Decent selection of guys. Nothing over the top. To me, the one guy who has a chance to make the first team is Woolen. I don't really expect anybody else to have a real shot to. And Dixon. Pro Bowl, I do think Geno will make the Pro Bowl. I think K9 and Metcalf will make the Pro Bowl, although receivers kind of crowded in the Pro Bowl. No offensive linemen, no tight ends. Let's say Draymond makes the Pro Bowl. I think Draymond's going to have a really nice all-around year. Wagner probably makes the Pro Bowl. He's got the rep for it. None of the edge rushers get in. Woolen makes the Pro Bowl. And Diggs makes the Pro Bowl. And I'll say Dixon and Myers make the Pro Bowl. So decent number of Pro Bowlers. We should have a decent number of representation on the all-rookie team. But I feel like we need a little more information before we say anything there for sure. But I think Witherspoon will play enough to get on the board. The one thing is, this is a very good draft for cornerbacks. This was a very deep draft for cornerbacks, so he's got real competition. Christian Gonzalez, Emmanuel Forbes, even a guy like Eli Ricks, who actually went undrafted, I think should have been drafted fairly high, and I think is going to be good. Maybe good immediately, who knows? Deontay Banks, a long list of defensive backs. Brian Branch, there's another one, by the way. So it's going to be a little bit hard for Witherspoon to do it. He's going to have to play good, but I think he can do it. JSN, I think, will be the best rookie receiver, so he makes the all-rookie team. Derek Hall, I don't think is going to play enough to get on the all-rookie team. Let's see here. Charbonnet, he's not going to beat Bijan, and I don't think he's going to beat Gibbs, so there's just not going to be enough carries for him. Oluwatimi, if he gets on the field, I think could be all-rookie center. If he actually gets out there, if he proves himself over this next month or so, or we'll call it 4 weeks, and gets out there in a starting role and plays most or all of the season, I think he could be the first team all-center, especially if we have a really good offense. They're just going to give it to him by default. Some of the other centers that went high in this draft are going to teams that probably won't have the offense that we will. But Morris, I don't think is going to play enough. Cam Young, he's not going to put up the numbers, right? He might play a decent amount and play pretty well. Not going to put up the numbers. I don't think Bradford's going to really play. McIntosh, not going to play enough. And that's really about it. I don't know if they put like a special teams gunner on, but maybe that's how a guy like Jarek Reed II could get on. But I think that's really about it. So that's the rundown of the awards and accolades that players and coaches and front office guys can get. There should be a decent amount of representation for the Seahawks on the teams. But in terms of the awards, I'm not seeing a lot. I think their names will be on the ballot. I think that they're going to get some votes, but I don't think they're going to come that close to winning it. There's a little too much going on around the league for that to happen. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys think I'm overlooking anything here. If you guys think that anything else could happen. Like Jordan Brooks. Could Jordan Brooks make the Pro Bowl if he puts up the monster tackle numbers that he usually does? He would have to get on the field a lot. I think it's a long shot. I think Wagner is clearly linebacker 1, and that kind of disqualifies Brooks from the start of making the Pro Bowl. But, yeah, I don't know if I see that one, but maybe someone out there will have a different take than me. Let me know. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Probably another video coming later today.